Hello students and welcome to the next lesson in our AS Level Psychology course. Today we're going to be looking at the Social Readjustment Rating Scale. What is the SRRS? Holmes and Rahe created a list of events that could cause someone to be stressed. They called the list the Social Readjustment Rating Scale, or in other words the SRRS. The list was basically made into a questionnaire. It's going to measure how vulnerable someone is to stress-related illnesses by asking them questions about the stress experiences. So how does it work? Well, the list consists of 43 stress-inducing life events. Each event has a life-changing unit. So what this means is that each event is going to have a score that indicates how stressful this event is. If one of these events that you select happened to in the last 3 years, you're going to have to write it down and say that this is a possible stress-inducing task. Once you've then selected all the events on this list of 43 events that has happened to you in the past 3 years, then you have to add up their total life-changing unit score. If you get a score over 300, you have an 80% chance in getting a stress-related illness in the next 6 months. Now, each of these different events of the 43 that we're given have different life-changing unit scores. So, for example, I believe divorce has a really high life-changing unit. However, jaywalking, which is a crime when you're walking, in a road where you shouldn't be, has a much lower life-changing unit. So, of course, it's added up cumulatively and based upon the emphasis of that actual event. The evaluation of the SSRS. People will react to stress differently. So there are many events which aren't going to cause stress at all. For example, a wedding may actually prevent stress in a person because a wedding is one of the events on the list which does say that it causes stress, but for some it may take stress away. Also, divorce is an event which may cause stress, but some people may see divorce as something which is actually going to take stress away from them. So it's difficult to actually assign a life-changing unit to all of these bits. Also, it's quite easy to use and add up. Some of the events may take away stress, as I just elaborated upon in the first bit. So, for example, divorce takes away stress from someone if in that marriage they are being induced and prone to a lot of stress from their counterpart. Also, it relies on accurate memory recall. Some people may actually forget that perhaps they caused a small crime or were given a speeding ticket, and as a result, that's going to manipulate the results that you get. Also, the events do not apply to every age group. Someone such as, the A-level students who may be doing the test, are probably around the age of 16, 17 or 18, so they're not going to be having a wedding or getting divorced. So as a result, not all of these events can apply to this particular demographic, and as a result, the results that you get are going to be inaccurate. Also, some events that happened a long time ago, for example, 2 years plus, may not cause stress anymore. If you are given a speeding ticket 2 years ago, likelihood is that's not going to cause you any stress anymore, like in the present day. SRRS in the Navy. Rahe et al. Is wanted to pretty much look at how the onset of illness could be linked to stress levels, so they conducted an experiment in the Navy. They used the Social Readjustment Rating Scale to measure the stress levels of soldiers who worked in the Navy. So what do? Well, they gave the SRRS to 2,500 Navy soldiers. After finishing the questionnaire, they tracked their illness levels for the next 6 months. After the 6 months, they evaluated their stress-related illness levels and compared it to what they had written in the SRRS. So what do they find? People who got higher scores on the SRRS had more stress-related illnesses. So you could conclude that levels of stress can influence the risk of getting ill. Evaluation. The research is correlational. So what this means is that in this study, we do have a link between the scores on the SRS and the amount of stress-related illnesses. However, it's hard to establish the cause and effect between the two of them because it could just be down to chance. Just because there is a relationship doesn't mean that they were linked. The sample size is also very limited. Only Navy soldiers were tested, and that's not an accurate representation of the rest of the population because Navy soldiers may be prone to more stress than perhaps other occupations such as cleaners and potentially teachers. Also, you can evaluate the SRRS in any other way. So for example, you could say that not all of the soldiers are going to see stress in the same ways, etc. Here are some questions on the SRRS. Have a go at answering these on another sheet of paper by pausing the video, and then hit play whenever you're ready to see the answers. Here are the answers. If you got these right, congratulations. I'd advise you to move on to the next video, which will be on another way to measure stress, and this is going to be looking at the daily hassles and uplift scale. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you